Chairman of the Revenue, Mobilisation, Allocation and Fiscal Commission, Mohammed Shehu, has the salaries of politicians, judicial and public office holders would be increased by 114%. Shehu made this known on Tuesday while presenting the report of the reviewed remuneration package of Kebbi State Governor Nasir Idris. The RMAFC chairman, who was represented by a federal commissioner in the commission, Rakia Tanko Ayuba, said the implementation of the reviewed remuneration packages was effective from January 1st, 2023. He said the move was in accordance with the provisions of paragraph 32 of part 1 of the third schedule of the 1999 Constitution of the federal government as amended. He advised the houses of assembly in the state to move quickly on the amendments of relevant laws to pave way for upward review of income packages for politicians, for political, judicial and public officers. Legal practitioners from across the country converge in Lagos State for the 2023 Law Week. The event is to, amongst other legal issues, advise the administration of President Bola Tinubu to have respect for the rule of law. While addressing the gathering, the chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association section of Public Interest and Development Law, Monday Ubani, for the country to develop alongside other nations. There is a need for government at various levels to put in place a zero tolerance policy towards corruption.
Our duty as lawyers is to expand the base. We must try and continue to go to court and get judgment, but it's not enough. And that is my conclusion. It's not enough to have this judgment if we cannot enforce them.
Legal practitioners from across the country converged in Lagos State for the 2023 Law Week. The event is to, amongst other legal issues, advise the administration of President Bola Tinubu to have respect for the rule of law. While addressing the gathering, Chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association section on Public Interest and Development Law, Monday Ubani, stressed the need for the country to develop alongside other nations, the need for government at various levels to put in place a zero-tolerance policy towards corruption.
The legislators in Nigeria have always performed below the point, below the maximum point we want them to do. They don't reflect the desires of those who elect them. That's the problem. They don't reflect our desires, our wants, our aspirations. They go there to legislate only laws that concern them. Look at the electoral law, where they cut short the number of judges deciding cases. They will now ship all the judges now to go and decide their cases and abandon other cases. And then when you ask where are the judges, they say they are on national duty. Which duty? Which duty is more national than other cases they handle? So it's an issue.
On his part, former Commissioner for Information, Imo State, Professor Nnamdi Obareri, the event is to create an environment to develop recommendations that will help in reforms of the law. Registrar and Director, Nigerian Institute of Chartered Arbitrators, Shola Oshodi John, also used the opportunity to advise politicians to adopt mediation techniques in resolving their crisis and not litigation.
Our legislature has not done so much to lift Nigerians out of poverty, to lift Nigerians out of insecurity in their own land, to make Nigeria to be a respected and respectable nation in the Committee of Nations. You see what is going on, irrespective of the drama that is going around the National Assembly. They have not really understood that their job is to help, not necessarily to antagonize the executive in making sure that the welfare and security of the people is the primary purpose of government.
I believe that the interest of Nigerians needs to be taken into consideration and they need to be heard, particularly at this time, because a lot has happened during the elections period and there's a need for rebuilding.
Sub-themes for the week are the 2023 Nigerian post-elections and lessons from the field, regaining the trust in the Nigerian judiciary, through election cases. Dennis Ofik, reporting for iBrandTV News.
Director of Road Transport in the Ministry of Transportation, Ibrahim Musa, yesterday disclosed that the federal government has approved the reopening of semi-border for the importation of vehicles. Speaking at the Economic Community of West African State ECOWAS meeting organized between officials of Nigeria and Benin, Musa said the development followed complaints by freight forwarders operating at the semi-border. Also speaking, the Custom Area Controller of Semi-Border Command, Dira Nadi, said the service has noticed a reduction in its revenue since the importation of vehicles was banned from the land borders. Nadi said, assured that all the requests taken to the Federal Executive Council, including how to fully open the border, was adopted and that it would be given to the new government for implementation. Igbitokun vows to rid the police force of misconduct, corruption, and others. The Acting Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Igbitokun, has vowed to rid the police force of corruption, abuse of power, and take necessary action against any form of misconduct from personnel. Igbitokun, who stated this at the official handling of a ceremony in Abuja yesterday, noted that the need to tackle corruption and abuse of power within the system came on the heels of the prolonged public deep-rooted concerns and grievances against the police. According to him, accountability will be the cornerstone of his tenure as Inspector General of Police, adding that he is committed to fostering a culture of professionalism, integrity, and respect within the police force. He further stated that to regain the trust of the Nigerians, the force will establish a robust internal system to investigate allegations of misconduct within the police force. He vowed to provide adequate national security for lives and property by putting in place feasible blueprints to commence sustainable and effective community policing. The Lagos State Police Command has paraded 32 suspects arrested for various offenses across the state. The State Police Public Relations Officer Benjamin Hundeyi is in a press briefing at the command's headquarters. Ikeja said prominent amongst the suspects are a group of cultists. Amolara Adebayo has the report.
Briefing newsmen at the premises of the command, the Force Public Relations Officer of Police in the state, SP Benjamin Hundeyi, said prominent among the suspects are cultists and robbers. The PPRO noted that swift and tactless operation that led to the arrest was made due to the deployment of optimal intelligence assets and collaboration from members of the public, which aided the arrest of 8 suspects from Ikorodu.
Today we have before you a total of 32 suspects who have been engaged in various criminal activities, including majorly cultism, traffic robbery, and the likes. Optimally, our intelligence assets, and we're able to also use cooperation from members of the public, and all of that culminated in the arrest of 8 suspects from Ikorodu.
Hundeyi also noted that there was a case of stealing and arrest of an accomplice of a stolen Toyota Hilux later recovered in Ilupeju. The PPRO, while commending members of the public for their collaboration, advised them to be law-abiding.
We also have an interesting case here. Is a case of stealing. The Toyota Hilux, you can see right over there, the white Hilux, was actually on a car stand, and 2 people came in the middle of the night to rob this vehicle. The car stand is somewhere in Ilupeju. It later turned out that one of the robbers is actually a security guard employed by the owner of the car stand.
Items recovered from the suspect include 18 phones, 157 various types of weapons, illicit drugs, and substances, among others. The police recovered during its various raids include 5 sachets of suspected tramadol tablet, 83 sachets of suspected diazepam tablets, 371 pieces of rubber solution, 3 parcels, and 303 wraps of dried leaves suspected to be India hemp, among others. Omolara Adebayo, reporting for iBrandTV News.